Hello, welcome to Unit 6 of Hello World, Part 1 of Programming. With me, Professor Neil, and my TA, Yoonghee.
Hello, this is TA Younghee. Ooh, today's topic is my favorite one, programming.
Yes, we are looking at programming and whether programming is coding or if coding is programming, or if they are the same thing. Yoonghee, are programming or coding the same thing?
A bit difficult to answer in a simple sentence.
Okay, well, let's go through the unit and then I'll ask you the question again and see if what we learned during this unit helps you to answer the question.
That'd be good.
Okay.
I need to learn something more to answer to those questions.
Okay, well, let's start with some warm-up questions to prepare you to answer the question. So here we will go into the warm-up.
We are warming up.
So you have many people in the city and they're all connected. And the question that you might ask people if they're in a city related to their occupation. And occupations are jobs. And if they're computers, then they are in computer jobs, computer occupations.
Then Steve Jobs.
Like Steve Jobs.
Lots of jobs.
Yes, yes. And so we have our warm-up questions. Let's put them up.
Here we go.
And so we're going to look at the first question first. What do you do? And then we're going to go for each question one at a time. So let's go through the first question. What do you do? So Yoonghee, what do you do?
I'm a TA.
Or?
And I study computer programming.
So you are a?
Programmer.
Okay, because yes, that is the unit's topic, so that's useful. So you might say, I am a programmer.
I'm a programmer.
Yes. Or,
I program computers. I build computer systems.
yes. So what do you do? Ask someone what is their job, but also ask them what they do in that job or what they do in their life. So the question has two processes. Then question 2 is more about your job.
More specifically,
What is your job? So you might answer,
my job is programmer.
yes.
I have to program in C++, and it is building websites.
Yes, so it here is like my job. My job is building websites. So even if someone asks, what is your job? It might be like, my job is programmer, or my job is teacher, or my job is doctor. But it also is similar to what do you do? It's asking what is your job in the job?
So if I'm a doctor, I can also say I have to cure patients.
Yes, or it is helping patients if you're a doctor.
This is very useful. I didn't know that before. We can answer a variety of types.
Oh yes, if you're working for a company, your boss might say to you, hey, Yoonghee, what is your job? Don't you know your job?
My job is to catching fish.
Yes. Which, yes, is a good point. All right, question 3. What is your occupation?
Oh.
This one is only about your job.
Occupation is a very scary word.
Yes.
My occupation is programmer. I have to program in C++. My job is to build websites.
Yes, so it's more specifically about what your actual job is.
It's good. I like C++.
Alright, so that's your occupation, but mostly number 1, even though 2 and 3 could possibly answer the question too. And number 4, question 4. What do you do for a living?
Ooh, this is very similar to the German sentence. Was sind Sie von Beruf? So exactly the same meaning, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, danke. Okay, yeah. So what do you do for a living? Similar answers again.
I am a computer programmer. I program in C++ and Java. I build websites and games.
Okay, well, that's good. And yeah, so question 4. So what do you do for a living is like asking what is your job again. So here you've seen there are 4 questions asking people what they do in their job. All right, let's have a look at the last question. What occupations need a computer? Oh, that's a little bit more difficult.
Oh, that is a bit more sophisticated question.
Yeah.
So what occupations need a computer? So who needs a computer?
Yes. So for example, a programmer needs a computer. A secretary needs a computer.
A student needs a computer.
Etc. Yes. So many people need computers to do their job in their occupations.
So if we put in a simple way, what occupations can be replaced with one word, who?
Yes. Very nice. Well, those are our warm-up questions. Hopefully they've helped you a little better to answer what is programming or coding. So programming is something people do in their job.
It's very interesting.
Right? Coding
question.
is something they do in their job. It is part of their occupation. It is part of what people do. If they have a computer occupation, programming or coding is something they will do in their job. Well, let's look at programming then. Alright. In Dialogue 6.1.
Ooh, we get to meet Hetty and John.
Yes, back with Hetty and John, who are at their company discussing something related to programming. Hetty and John themselves are not programmers. However, in our dialogue, they are looking to employ someone with those skills because companies employ people with skills. Now, for our dialogue 6.1, to prepare you, again, we're just going to ask some questions, some warm-up questions. First, about big or small companies. Yonghi, can you name a big company?
Big tech company like Intel, IBM.
Yes. I don't think IBM exists anymore. Well, they do. But
They do smaller then.
no,
And Google.
Okay, they're big companies. What about any small companies in say, Korea
Small companies.
that deal with tech?
Originally, Kakao was small, but now became big.
Yeah. Oh, Daum? Is Daum quite small still?
Daum is quite big.
Oh, okay, cool.
So all became big. The smaller size is
Busan Bridge Books.
yes.
Busan Bridge Books is a small company.
Yes, Busan Bridge Books is very small
Yes.
company. Very small mini tech company.
Just about surviving. Okay, so the question, like you might ask, would you like to work in an office for a big or small company? So I would like to work for a big company or a small company because. I mean, you can put the questions with a bit more colour. So Yonghi, would you like to work in an office for a big or small company?
In my case, I'd like to work in an office for a small company.
Okay, well, that's nice. Yes. A bit more friendly and personal?
No, because I have more freedom to do what I want to do.
Oh, okay, we like that.
Yeah, big company, you only allowed to do very limited given task.
Interesting.
So I like too many things.
Okay, that's good. We like that. So companies want your skills. So companies want your skills, such as you are a programmer, or you program in C++, or you build applications.
If you do both C++ and Java, you can pretty much apply for any computer related.
Yes, so your skills might be programming in something, or building or creating things. Well, with the warm-up out the way, let's move on to the dialogue between Hetty and John. Let's go and finally join them at the office. Right, because John is employing or looking to employ 2 programmers.
I want to work for the John and Hetty's company, BB Inc.
Okay, so let's go to the office. John is going to leave his office and go over to the coffee shop to have a little discussion with Hetty. So let's go and join John and Hetty in the coffee shop.
Here we go.
Good morning, Hetty.
Good morning, John. How was the meeting?
The meeting went well and the project was green lighted.
That's great.
Yes, we start in 2 weeks.
How can I help?
We have to find some programmers.
What kind of programmers?
We want 2 different kinds of programmers.
Okay, send me the details and I'll take a look.
Okie dokie, I'll send you the details right away. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed their little time in the coffee shop. And so, Youngie, what was green lighted for John?
I'm not sure of by heart. Let me think. The project was green lighted.
Okay, because he wants to find some programmers for his project, so the project was green lighted. Well, let's just read through the conversation one more time, and then we can check the questions after that. Are you ready? I'll read John, you read Hetty.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Good morning, Hetty.
Good morning, John. How was the meeting?
The meeting went well, and the project was green lighted.
That's great.
Yes, we start in 2 weeks.
How can I help?
We have to find some programmers.
What kind of programmers?
We want 2 different kinds of programmers.
Okay, send me the details and I will take a look.
Okie dokie, I'll send you the details right away.
Oh, that was very interesting. Professor Neil, what is a green lighted means?
It's a good question. The project was green lighted, which means was given permission to start or to begin. Okay, so when something is green lighted, it has been given permission to start.
It reminds me of the John Legend song.
Okay.
Give me the green light.
Yes, so it means the permission to start. So what was green lighted?
His project.
Yes, John's project was green lighted. And what does John need?
He needs 2 programmers.
Yes, he needs 2 programmers to get the project up and running. Well, there we go. That was dialogue 6.1. Right, in which John is employing 2 programmers. And let's go and learn about what programming is and coding is in reading 6.1.
I better study harder to become a good programmer to work for John and Hetty.
Okay, that sounds nice. So programmers and coders. In our reading, the idea here is to find out what programming is, and we're going to start to look at what different types of programmers there are and what kinds of tasks and roles programmers perform. So let's have a look at the reading. So here, the reading center 6.1, as it says, computer programming, also known as coding, is the process of creating software. The people writing code are known as coders and programmers. Coders are programmers that develop applications known as apps. 2 of the most common types of coder are front-end developer and back-end developer. Front-end developers program in front-end languages to build websites. Back-end developers program in back-end languages to create the app's websites run on. So this is just looking at 2 types of coder, 2 types of programmer. So a coder is a programmer is a coder.
The same thing.
Very similar, but as we will talk, there is slight variation. So Youngie, are you ready to answer the 3 questions?
I will try, Professor Neil.
Okay, so looking at the text, answer the 3 questions about programming and coders. Right.
I'm ready.
Okay. What is computer programming?
Computer programming is the process of creating software.
Very nice. What are two kinds of programmer?
There are two kinds of programmers. One is front-end programmer. The other is back-end programmer.
Yes, so a developer is a programmer. So as we said, two types of programmer are front-end developer and back-end developer.
Front-end developer and back-end developer.
Very good. What tasks do programmers perform?
Front-end developers program in front-end languages to build websites.
And how about
While back-end developers program in back-end languages to create the apps where websites run on.
Yes, they do more than that. This is just one short reading to give you an idea, right, of what coders and programmers do. It doesn't answer the whole question.
It's very useful.
I
have to write down because I now know the difference between front-end developer and back-end developer.
Okay, so to do that, we've mentioned that programmers program in languages. So programmers and coders obviously use different types of programming languages. And we want to look at, in Vocabulary 6.1, some of these programming languages.
A lot of writing is required here.
Yes, so let's...
To remember vocabulary.
Yes, the world of computers is large. So, we have vocabulary for programming languages, and we are taking some of them from the website www.w3schools.com. So what we're going to do is use the website to talk about the descriptions of the languages.
So this website introduced the definition of program languages.
Yes.
It's very useful. I have to.
So these are our
there.
programming languages, and you have to visit the website and then match. If you go to the website, you should be able to find the descriptions of the code that appear in the handout or book. So here on the left we have our vocabulary, and we have to match them with our definitions. Now it is a difficult task, but I'm going to show you in a moment how you use the website to find them. Okay, so let's fire them up.
Kajam. I like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure students know what Kazam means, but that's
Tada! Jajan!
Yonghee's magic word. Alright, so you can see in each of the case, you have to put the programming language in the right place.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Ooh,
So-
he turns himself into a computer.
Yes. So here you can see we have the definitions. Like, blank is the standard markup language for web pages for creating your own. So if we go back to the list of programs, we can see we've got like HTML, CSS, jQuery, and so on. Now, some of them follow the order, but there is a little variation.
So we have to match this given vocabulary list into correct definition
Yes.
on the right side page.
Now, you might be able to do it without visiting the website, but if you want to, you can go to the website. So let me just show you the website. So here we are on the website, and what you have to do is click on, I think, tutorials, and here you can see they list the various languages. So finding the one you want, so like here, Learn PHP. We click on Learn PHP. You can see here at the top it says, PHP is a server scripting language and a powerful tool for making dynamic and interactive web pages. So this one, if you go through the descriptions, you should be able to find it and then match the PHP with that definition.
It's very useful, Professor Neil.
Yeah, so if we go back, let's do number 1, which is in the list. Number 1 is
HTML.
Is the standard markup language for web pages for creating your own website. So Yonghee's saying it's HTML. So let's go to HTML. Here we are under tutorials. We click and it says HTML is the standard markup language for web pages for creating your own web page. So Yonghee, is that the right one?
I think so.
Okay. Let's go back to our definitions. So would you say the first one's going to be HTML?
HTML is the standard markup language for web pages for creating your own website.
Yes, number 1 is HTML.
The rest will be done by students.
Yes, right. The rest is coming up in homework following the grammar. So that's the end of vocabulary. And in grammar, we are introducing the complement. Subject and complement. Last time we did the subject and object. This time we're doing the subject and complement. So here we go.
Today, we get to learn about the relationship between subject and complement that are linked by verb.
Yes, particularly the be verb. So the subject and the complement. So the declarative sentence is used to describe actions, things, ideas, and people using the complement. There we are. So as it says, good grammar, the language is HTML-C. So here the complement, as we mentioned, can be a noun phrase again. That's why it's marked in green here. But we're going to mark it in orange if it is an adjective phrase. So our first one, the language is HTML. HTML is a noun phrase. The language is nice. Nice is an adjective phrase. So the parts are that if you have the good sentence grammar, it is subject, predicate, complement, using the be verb. So the main be verb, P, links the content of the subject with the complement. Alright, so you can see there, noun phrases, either side of the verb phrase, and in the other one you've got noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase.
So, complement can take both noun phrase and adjective phrase.
Yes, and as we're going to come to in a moment, it can take a prepositional phrase
as well.
Yeah, so it can take 3 types of phrase.
The complement gives the definition or status of subject.
Yes. There we go, without the P, C, or S.
So the language is HTML. The language is nice. So complement gives the good definition or status of the subject, the language.
Okay, nicely explained. Thank you. So the complement can be a noun phrase or an adjective phrase after the be verb predicate. So the application is the program. There, the program is a noun phrase. Or the program is good, that is an adjective phrase. And so on. But to also add, you can also have a prepositional phrase. So for example, the data for an open source. And for is your preposition, followed by a noun phrase. And we mention that because this is going to come up in the practice section. Today's practice section focuses on the subject, be verb, plus prepositional phrase for the complement.
So subject and the predicate, which is be verb here, and complement, they are all must have element. They're all mandatory. If you remove any of these elements, the sentence is grammatically wrong.
Good points.
That's why the last example, the data is for an open source. Here in case, for an open source, you cannot delete it because the data is by itself doesn't make any sense.
No. So when you got the be verb, you need a complement.
So prepositional phrase here for an open source as a whole is complement as well.
So let's look at how that works. Alright, the subject and the complement. So lastly, as we said, you can create questions about the subject using the complement. What is good? What software is good? What software is good for creating documents? So for example, MS Word is good for creating documents. So the subject complement method is very good for creating simple questions. And that is what we're practicing in our practice section about the subject and complement. So let's go on to the practice section. Practice 6.1 or practice A6. So that's moving on to practice. So in the practice A6, we have this question. There are 12 questions, and each question has the be verb in it. And the idea is you answer each question.
Oh, what was that?
Using subject, predicate, complement with right, with the complement mostly being using the preposition for. Right? Apart from number 12. So if the question has 4 in it, then the answer will change. But 11 and 12 are a little different. Okay? So try to answer the questions in the subject, predicate, complement pattern. Right? So for example, number 1, HTML is for creating websites. Alright, so we'll leave those. That is the homework. That is your task. Good luck with that. Don't need to repeat that. So there we go. That's the blanks. So there we go. Alright. You have your tasks. You have the vocabulary. You have the grammar. Hopefully, this will help you to answer the question of what is a programmer, what is a coder. And this is the end of part 1. Young-hee, any better idea about programming or coding?
I think programming or coding is the occupation that requires software or computer system developing skills.
Okay, that sounds nice. Okay, let's end Unit 6, Part 1, and we'll come back in Part 2. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in Part 2. Take a break. Bye.
Bye.